TV 1055's Jessica Schneider has been following the stories for years. In fact, she was there near the scene when the bombs went off, and she's here with the story. Jess.
Yeah, that's right, Dick. Those jurors deliberated for 11 hours. Tsarnaev's own lawyer conceded he was guilty on the first day of the trial, but with this verdict, the victims say they now have some semblance of closure. Prosecutors say the woman who lived right here had 4 propane gas tanks, and she had instructions on how to turn those tanks into explosives. This 29-page complaint details all of the ways the woman and her friend plotted their own terrorist attack. This is Governor Cuomo's signature. This bill will give more than 100 families around the state the chance to go before a judge and plead their case why their disabled relatives should continue to get their care where they already are. Now, we brought you Cheryl Lloyd's story on Tuesday.
What does this kind of evidence that they're asking to read back and hear again, what does that tell you, if anything?
It's the big question, Maurice. You know, lawyers wonder what exactly they're thinking when they ask for all of these minute details. I've been watching the jury as they come back into the room. These are very smart jurors. The defense attorney said it. The prosecution has said it. These are people who are very meticulous, poring over all of the evidence in this case. And with 10 weeks of testimony and evidence, there is a lot to sift through. So a lot of questions, and what everyone wants to know, what are they thinking? This was an extraordinarily long summation. Defense attorney Harvey Fishbein started at 10 o'clock this morning. He didn't wrap until 4:30 p.m. with just one break. And in fact, he apologized to jurors several times for the length, but stressed this is a man's life on the line. The jury just wrapping the first day of deliberations about 10 minutes ago. Now, they listened to 10 weeks of testimony, everyone from doctors to detectives to psychiatrists, even Eitan Pates' mother, Julie. And now in their deliberations, they will have mountains of evidence to sift through, but they'll have no physical evidence. They only have the words of a suspect his lawyer says is mentally ill. This is the moment Eitan Pates' father, Stanley, has waited nearly 36 years for, the chance that a jury will find justice for his son's disappearance and death. 5 men and 7 women will decide whether Pedro Hernandez is guilty or not on 3 separate charges: second-degree murder, felony murder, and kidnapping. The 2 different murder charges result from different theories under the law. If the jury finds Pedro Hernandez deliberately killed 6-year-old Eitan back in 1979, they'll convict on second-degree murder. If the 12-member panel decides Eitan's death resulted during the course of a kidnapping, they'll find Hernandez guilty on the felony murder charge. Each of the 3 charges is punishable by 25 years to life in prison. 54-year-old Pedro Hernandez was a clerk at the corner bodega in Soho Eitan visited often. He's accused of luring the little boy into the bodega basement with promises of a soda and then strangling him and killing him. Eitan's body was never found, but his parents declared him legally dead in 2001. Prosecutors presented evidence that Pedro Hernandez confessed several times to church group members in the 70s and 80s and then to police in 2012. His attorneys, though, say he's a man with a mental illness and low IQ that makes him incapable of distinguishing fantasy from reality. And defense attorneys also say the wrong man is on trial. The defense has repeatedly pointed to convicted child molester Jose Ramos as the real suspect. But prosecutors did tell the jury in closing yesterday that Jose Ramos may be a convicted pedophile, but he is not guilty in this case. So again, 90 minutes of jury deliberations today. They will resume tomorrow morning. Live in Lower Manhattan, Jessica Schneider, CBS 2 News.